So here is a joke about Estonia by Estonians, and the joke is that Estonia has no sex and no future. And the background being that Estonian language itself does not have any gender and there is no future tense in Estonian language. Weird. Hello everybody, my name is Manan. Welcome to my channel. Today I thought I would cover a few strange things about the Estonian language. Now, I have been learning Estonian and I passed my Estonian exam quite a while ago. So I thought, why not cover from a foreigner perspective what are some very, very weird things about Estonian. So here we go. Point number one, Estonia has Uralic roots, which means that it comes from a family that is completely different from majority of the European languages themselves. So majority of the European languages come from Indo-European family tree, and the Estonian language comes from the Finno-Ugric side of the tree, which has Estonian, which has Finnish, and which also has Hungarian. This means that when you are starting to learn Estonian, then you have to unlearn quite a lot of things, and this is something that I found out when I was learning Estonian. So a large part of learning Estonian was unlearning all the things I knew because I already knew English. So here are a few quick word examples from Estonian versus German. Now the word for mother in Estonian is Emma. The word for mother in German is Mutter. The word for father in Estonian is Isa. The word for father in German is Vater. The word for water in Estonian is Vesi. The word for water in German is Wasser, which is, quite similar. The word for hand in Estonian is käsi. The word for hand in German is just hand itself. The word for sun in Estonian is päike, whereas the word for sun in German is sonne. So what I mean to say is that I'm just comparing two languages. One is from the Finno-Ugric family and the other one is from the Indo-European family. And you might find there are a lot of similarities between these language trees. But if you're coming from a completely different language tree, it might become really difficult and you have to unlearn stuff. So that is what I mean to say. So it's a completely new world that you have to dive into, not knowing what is there. Point number two, vowel length. Now this one becomes quite funny quite fast. So in Estonian, many words can be joined through vowels, and let me give you an example. So the word for ice in Estonian is jää, and the word for edge is äär. So jää, äär means the edge of the ice. Kuu, uurija, kuu means moon. Uurija is an explorer. So kuu uurija means a moon explorer. Töö means work. Ö means night. So töö means work at night. Now, on the surface, these examples might seem quite simple, but for example, if you put them all together into a sentence, then this can become quite a bit complicated. Let me give you an example. So, kuu uurijad tööl jää ääred, which is a complete sentence, which means lunar researchers at work on the edge of ice at night. So, I mean, the vowel length in Estonia can become quite complicated and quite long. Number three, cases. Now Estonia has 14 cases. What cases mean is that every noun, every pronoun, and the numbers, let's say there are 14 different endings for each one of them because Estonia does not have any prepositions. So for example, if I want to say with train, then I say rongiga. If I want to say for train, then I say rongile. I mean, same goes for me as well. If I want to say with Manan, then it's mananiga. If I want to say for Manan, then it is mananile. Now you have to understand that this makes things quite a bit complicated because nouns are everywhere, right? My name is a noun. Any person who comes to Estonia, their name is also a noun. So you come across many funny examples where there is a person coming from across the world who has a very unique name, and when he comes, then he has to find cases for their names. This is one of the most difficult aspects of learning Estonian, I feel, because the first three noun cases, nominative, genitive, and partitive, there are no rules for that. Like, you have to learn them by heart, and this is one aspect that I found myself so complicated that I felt that it's better for me to just learn them by heart. So I would just learn sentences and then see how it feels, and I got a feeling of how things sound. So do they sound correct or do they sound incorrect? And you can only get that by listening, like listening a lot. So 14 cases, very complicated. I know Finnish has 15 cases, and there are some other languages with even more cases, but this is one complicated and strange aspect of the Estonian language. Number 4, lack of gender. Estonian language does not have any gender-specific nouns or pronouns, which means that the word for he and she is just ta, and there are no specific nouns for any specific thing, which of course, if you learn German, then you might find that every object is either male or a female, so there are different genders. But in Estonian, there is no such case, which makes it, let's say, less complicated, but it also makes things a little bit harder for Estonians, because when they're speaking English, they quite often make this mistake of switching he and she, which can become funny sometimes. But yeah, Estonians generally, they speak very, very good English in my experience. Number 5, Estonian alphabet. Now, among the Estonian alphabet, the most famous among them is that O with the little snake on it. Now, this is the hardest to pronounce. So when I came to Estonia, I was attending this, maybe it was a stand-up, but it was this by this famous comedian, Stuart Johnson, and he was living here for quite a while in Estonia, and he gave a really good example. So he was saying that, okay, the way to learn the word Ö in Estonian is, let's imagine that you are in a tram, and let's say that you are going to one of the less developed parts of Tallinn in Kopli. I mean, Kopli used to be quite a slum back in the day. Even Kalamaja used to be quite a slum back in the day. But so you're going there, and then there is this one homeless person gets inside, and he said that the sound that you can make when you see the homeless person, which is smelling and dirty, then you say so that is what you can learn how to speak. I quite myself found struggling quite a bit with this word, but it just comes really difficult. I mean, this could be a very fun game that you play with an Estonian, that you are talking to them and you say that you're struggling with saying this word and they would say it perfectly well, and then you say it horribly wrong, but in your mind it's the same, and in their mind it's quite different. So it becomes quite funny to see, and I have seen this happening with my friends as well. So try to pronounce am I pronouncing it right? Let me know, because it's quite a very important alphabet in the Estonian language. Õpilased, students. Number 6, no future. Wow. Now, Estonian language itself does not have any future, which means that if you want to say something about the future, then it has to be in the context of what you're saying otherwise. So, for example, let me give you an example. If I say I speak Estonian language, then I translate in Estonian as ma räägin eesti keelt. But if I want to say I will speak Estonian language, then it is exactly the same. Ma räägin eesti keelt. So you have to sort of say it in the context of what you're talking about, that there is no future. Now, this is kind of funny, but please comment down below if you know any other languages that do not have any future tense. I know that in English we definitely do. Number 7, and that is influence of all the other languages into the Estonian language. Now, this happens quite often with other languages as well. I mean, English has so many words that are from Urdu, and then Urdu itself has so many words that are from English. In Estonia's case, I was quite surprised to see that when I was working in my old company, a lot of my friends, Estonian friends, would use the word davai quite much, which is quite a uniquely Russian word. So that was quite interesting for me. In addition, recently I found out that Estonian Mother Tongue Association, which is like the central association that guides the language rules and all that, recommended that 3 new words be introduced into the Estonian language. The first one was karate, which is karate, and the second one was tsunami, which is like a tsunami, and then the third one was gala, which in Estonian is gala, which is with double A's. So yeah, it's quite funny because all these words are now used in Estonian already. I mean, let's say TikTok. TikTok is an Estonian word. It would have Estonian cases, so it should be a part of Estonian language itself as well. Number 8, and the final thing, and that is probably one of the easiest things about Estonian that I find, is that Estonian is written exactly how you speak, as compared to other languages, for example French, in which you read and then you simply have to decode in your head how you would pronounce it. Estonia is very, very phonetic, which means that I can read Estonian, pronounce it quite well if I know how to say all these alphabets, and there is no problem there. And this is a problem that I see many people who are learning English struggle with. So in this case, in Estonian, it's very easy to speak Estonian and read it. And that is one of the things that I find, that I can speak Estonian, I can pronounce it quite well as compared to, for example, if I wanted to learn French, which is just so weird to speak from reading. I can't even begin. For example, there is this very, very long word in Estonian. You can see it on the screen, and let me try to pronounce it. So the word is kuulilennutee tunneliluuk, which literally means hatch. A bullet flies out when exiting a tunnel. This word is quite unique in Estonian because it is a palindrome. So if you turn it around, then it spells out the same. So I'm able to say the word because it is spelled exactly as it sounds. Okay, so there you have it. These are the 8 unique, strange things about Estonian that I found out while I was learning it. So what are some things that are unique to your own language? What are some things that are still unique about Estonian that maybe I missed? You can write them down in the comments below, and you can tell me where you are watching this from and what is your mother tongue and what is something special about your mother tongue. Take care, have a lovely day, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, and share it with your friends if you think you found something interesting. Take care and bye-bye.